Hello everyone, welcome to a Fabled Finance video. My name is Tony. I am 32 years old and I'm living in Orlando, Florida. A little bit about me. I work as a auditor at a public accounting firm and my salary is $72,800 annually. So, what I wanted to do today is kind of just go over my financial journey with you all. I know you're probably all looking at these numbers here on the left and thinking, oh my gosh, what the heck? But I'm going to go over all of that. And then I also wanted to go over my YNAB category setup and just discuss what I've made so far. So, you may notice a lot of credit cards here, 13 of them actually, and there's really no good reason for that. Basically, in my 20s, when I was really young, I think I was in my teens when I took out my first credit card, and I was responsible at first, but then I didn't really have the education about finances or the knowledge, and I would just start to spend money. And spending monies is like one of my absolute favorite things to do, unfortunately. I like spending money on stuff and things, especially designer things, collectibles, that kind of stuff. So on my credit cards, I would kind of use them like how people use Affirm and Klarna today. I would buy something and just pay it off over time. That's what you do with credit cards. So when I got into the habit of doing that, I thought, wow, this is great. I'm going to take out another credit card so that I can buy more stuff. And I would do that over and over and over. And I thought I was really good at credit. I thought I liked credit, which I do. It can be a great tool if you use it correctly. But unfortunately, in my case, I would just keep buying things, racking up debt, and only paying the minimum balance, if not just a little bit more, maybe, but not in full, that's for sure, as you can see. So, why do I love spending money? Well, a lot of it has to do with my mental health. I'm going to get a little personal and vulnerable here, but I have depression and anxiety. And like I said, I love to spend money. That's something I would do to get me through hard times in life. And recently, with my position that I'm in at my job, I've only been working there for a year and a half, and 2024 was a really transformative year for me. I finally was able to get health insurance and I could really deep dive into myself both mentally and physically. And not only do I have depression, which I know about, but I have ADHD and my testosterone levels are low, which is weird to say, but is a little important. So I started seeing doctors and everything and got on medications. My testosterone pill helps me with my energy levels, my motivation, my strength. My mental health pill is actually an antipsychotic that is used to treat bipolar disorder, but is also used for just like regular depression. And I've found that ever since taking that, my desire to spend money has really gone down. It's almost actually non-existent right now. I still have urges sometimes to splurge and buy myself something, but I'm able to kind of take a step back now and really tell myself what is important in my life and where I should be spending money. So yeah, that's a little personal bit there. It is important though to tell because of the way my situation is, especially with all these numbers, these big ones here. So these loans, I have one, two, three personal loans and two student loans, private student loans. So with the student loans, when I was in college, I wasn't working. I needed money to cover my monthly expenses, especially the credit cards, rent, the car, food, stuff like that. I thought was a good idea at the time, but obviously it hit me once I started working that, wow, I actually have to pay these off. And so they're sitting there now. The personal loans, I took out so many of these because there were several points in my life where I thought, okay, I got to get this credit card spending under control. I would take out a personal loan. Happy Money was my first, and I consolidated everything to get a lower interest rate. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to make big monthly payments on this to pay it down quickly. So that way I get rid of my credit card debt, lower my utilization, and then everything will be fine. I'll be on track. Well, that didn't happen. I got Happy Money to consolidate, and then I saw all this available credit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can spend money. I can do things that I want to do now. And with this one, I ended up getting a hair transplant, which was very expensive. Also important to say because there are some things in my categories that kind of go over what I do to take care of myself, my hair. Um, but yeah, so that was really expensive. And all of a sudden, my credit card balances were up again. So I took out another one, this one main loan, a few years or a couple years later. I thought the same thing. I'm going to consolidate, get a lower interest rate, and make large monthly payments to pay it down. And unfortunately, I did the stupid thing of tying my car to this. So this includes my car payment and credit card debt that I owed. I stayed on track with this one for a few months, but then emergencies happened, mental health happened. I started spending money again, and I racked up some credit card debt. And that's where this one comes in, Mickey Loan. So I took this one out with a credit union here in Orlando that is specifically for Disney cast members and friends and family. Because I did work at Walt Disney World for a bit, and I decided to go with the credit union because they had lower interest rates. And this one was actually just a few months ago. It's February 2025 now. I got this in November 2024. And with this one, I feel like I'm not playing around anymore. I have to pay down my debt because I'm swimming in it at this point, and it's really frustrating, irritating, and annoying, and it's keeping me from doing the things that I want to do. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with my debts. I know it doesn't look good. I know it makes me look bad, but there were some mental stuff going on that I now have under control, and I feel like I'm ready to tackle this debt so I can start doing what I want to do. So on to YNAB. So I'm new to YNAB here. Budgeting for February was the first time that I used it. I recently finished the 30-day trial and I decided to move forward with the annual subscription because I think it's worth it. But before I used YNAB, I followed a different budget method that was also a zero-based method. So I'm kind of familiar with the cash envelope system. Um, I like YNAB though because I'm able to see my cash separately in each category, but I only have to have one checking account and one savings account. With the other budgeting method that I was using, they kind of encouraged having multiple accounts to stuff your cash in, as having each account be like a separate envelope basically. But I've gotten to a point where I have so many accounts open that it's just really unorganized, and YNAB has helped me consolidate all my cash into one account here. And now that I can see the jobs for all my dollars, I don't know, it makes me feel good that everything is just more organized, basically. So the first category that I have, I call the Gap Troll, um, and I pay the Gap Troll tax. I like to budget based on whole numbers. So basically, if my paycheck is $2,436.33, I'm going to put the 33 cents here so that my money that is ready to assign is an even number. So that's what that is. Credit card payments. So we talked about I have a lot. I put them in order of due date. You can see I've already had some activity going on. Basically, with this, I've only assigned money really to my Amex card because the annual fee came out and I want to make sure that that is covered. And then next month, I'll start tackling the actual balance that I owed. My Freedom Unlimited, I pay down every month. This is what I started with when I imported my accounts, so I made sure to put all that in there. And then I've done a little bit of spending, so the money that's available came from other categories. Quicksilver and Quicksilver One, these two I don't really use. They're just kind of my oldest accounts, so I still have them open, and I only use them for things that I am subscribed to that come out like every few months or so, just to keep them active. Um, but I also pay these down when the subscriptions come out. So that's why I have money assigned here. So altogether, let's see. Nope. Amex, Marriott, Custom Cash, and Double Cash. These are the cards that have balances on them that I need to pay down over time, unfortunately. Minimum payment is 50 for each of them, so $200 a month in credit card debt. my first paycheck bills. So I decided to make these category groups since I am new to YNAB. I wanted to make sure that I saw everything that's due within each paycheck period first, but eventually I want to get rid of these four category groups and kind of divvy up what is in them into these category groups. But right now, my first paycheck, I do pay rent, 14.23 in total. I actually pay half of that. My partner pays the other half, but I pay it on my Bilt card to get the points, so I cover the whole balance, and then he just pays me half. HP Instant Ink, since I work from home a lot of the time and I have a home office. I do pay for Spotify, Paramount Plus, and Apple Storage. Sally Mae, here is the first private student loan that I have. It's about $245 a month. I have car insurance with Progressive, and I pay for Peacock as well. So this one is weird. It shows that I overspent $4.77 on this, but that's not completely true. So I only budget $11 a month for this, even though it is technically $15.77. Since I pay with my Bilt card, it's a MasterCard. Peacock has a promotion that is running, I believe, until the end of this year, 2025, that if you pay with a World Elite MasterCard or something like that, they give you a $5 credit if you pay for the more premium subscription that doesn't have commercials. So I budget $11. It just shows that I overspent because that $5 credit hasn't hit my credit card yet. So once that happens, it'll actually show that I have like what, 23 cents in here, which I'll go ahead and move to the gap tool. Next, I have a Disney annual pass since I live in Orlando. So I don't work there anymore, and I do enjoy going to the parks. However, this is something that I'm considering getting rid of because I don't go as often as I used to. It almost feels like a chore now when I do have to go. Um, Plus, it's hot and people are crazy. I don't like large crowds, and I'm getting older. It just doesn't excite me as much as it used to, unfortunately. But every time I get rid of my annual pass, that's like the times I find myself wanting to go, which is really annoying. But currently, I don't have a target for this because I already paid for 12 months of it, and they gave me a couple months free when I bought the annual pass as some sort of promotion. So if I do decide to renew it, I'll start paying for it again in April, but that is to be determined. For my second paycheck, I have a storage unit because I did love spending money. We have a lot of stuff. My partner and I, we collect a lot of stuff. He collects Disney dolls, and I collect, well, the things I've collected have changed. I used to do stuffed animals, and then I did trading card games, um, different stuff that I actually found out that I didn't really care about deep down. It was just an excuse to spend money. So I got a storage unit to put our stuff in because we do have kind of a small two-bedroom apartment and we live with a roommate. So we don't have a lot of space. I do pay for Netflix. I have my phone bill with AT&T, Disney Plus, and then here are my first two private loans. First Mark is a student loan, Partners is another private loan, and then I have Invisalign, so I pay for that monthly. So this is technically a loan too, but if I pay it off by the end of the year, I believe, I won't have to owe any interest on it. So I do plan on paying that off soon. Yearly subscriptions. These are the things that come out every year. So I pay for renter's insurance, Amazon Prime, PlayStation Plus, Petco, Vital Care. I do have a cat, and we'll talk about that a little more in a second. The YNAB subscription, which I already paid for on Nintendo Online, and I do have a category for my credit card annual fees, just so that I have the money set aside when they hit again. I've been doing this for the past, I don't know, year or so with the old budgeting method that I use. So I was prepared when that big Amex Gold annual fee hit. So I'm glad I had that there. Subscribings. This is what I like to call the things that I'm subscribed to that come out every few months or so. Because if you subscribe, then you save more, especially on Amazon and other things that I do. So, Hims, that is for my hair. And I do this because it's actually cheaper for me to subscribe to Hims than it is for me to get the medication from my doctor. This is about $35 a month every 5 months, $175 every 5 months. Um, and with my doctor, it's like probably 60 to $70 a month. So I just decided to do this to save me some money. I do have a shower filter that I have to change every 3 months. My cat's water fountain, I change the filter every 2 weeks, I believe, and I get a pack that covers 4 months worth of filters. I have a couple air purifiers that I change every 6 months, and then my razor I change every 4 months as well. And a pack of two every 4 months. Okay, and then we get to the good stuff. So since I'm new to YNAB, I'm still kind of figuring out what categories I want to have, but at least I feel like I have the essentials right now. So I have my groceries and my dining out. My groceries, I have a Target. I don't know why it's not there. $200 a month. I did snooze it this month because it's February 23rd and I have enough groceries to last me the rest of the month. Dining out, I gave myself a little bit of money here. I still have some left over. Auto, I cover gas. I'm saving for my car registration. And I do have a car maintenance category that I would eventually like to have some money in. My car has been very good to me. I've only really had to do oil changes. I've changed the brakes once and the tires once. Um, but it is getting older and more miles on it. So I just want to make sure at some point I have a little bit of money to take care of that. Personal care, I am going to do $45 a month for a haircut. Skincare, I'm really big on taking care of my face and body, so I want to make sure that I have money to go towards that. And then hair care as well, like gel and combs and that kind of stuff. Since I got that hair transplant, I want to make sure that I take good care of my hair. Medical, we talked about my mental health, so I have categories for my prescriptions, my psychiatrist every month. Medical, I don't do every month, but at least not anymore. Um, so I have set aside, or I'm going to set aside some money for medical stuff just to have dental and therapy. I believe everyone should be in therapy. It's great. Vampy is my cat, my little baby boy. Um, okay, so with his food, um, this one, so I set aside $110 every 4 months for his bag of food. And I know that's kind of a crazy amount, but we had an issue a few years ago where he had crystals in his urethra, and we found out that his urine isn't very acidic and he hasn't been drinking enough water. So, this is a prescription food that we get that helps keep his urine more acidic so that he can use the bathroom. And unfortunately, it is going to be for life that he's on this diet. Um, and I love him very much, so I think it's worth it to pay that much money for a bag of food. Um, okay, litter and toys and treats. I usually spend not that much on litter since I do have this Petco Vital Care. They give me $15 a month to use on whatever, and they give discounts on litter, food, toys, that kind of stuff. So I don't usually spend too much on litter, but I just want to make sure that I have enough in there in case something happens. Household, again, I'm still setting up my categories. So right now I just have toiletries and cleaning supplies. And then my savings. So don't judge me, but the last thing I kind of crazy splurged on before I started realizing that my spending was out of hand, um, was I bought a trip to New York. So we're going to go see Wicked on Broadway, which I'm really excited about. But I have a category here for my New York fund. I want to save $2,500 by September since I'm going in October. And that is not something that I'm willing to like not do because it'll be my first time to New York. It's for my partner's birthday, and I want to make sure that we have a good time. And then the rest are just basic savings goals that I could think of. This quick fund is like, I just want to have $1,000 for basically like a checking account cushion in case I spend money on things on a whim. I want to make sure it's like a miscellaneous fund, basically. Um, but I do have an emergency fund that I'd like to get going with. I want to buy a new car eventually. Vacations, that's something we don't usually do. This New York trip is our first vacation in what, 6 years. So I, instead of spending money on things, stuff and things, I would rather spend my money on experiences. So that is something that I'd like to start saving for. I also want to get out of apartments and start living in a house so that way I can get more space, more privacy, and yeah, that's basically it. So those are my categories in YNAB. Um, Obviously, I've already assigned the available money that I have in my checking account, but I plan on making more videos if you're interested to go over my paychecks and how I want to budget them. Basically, I made this introduction video to tell my story and get set up. I would like to keep making videos not only to share my story and hopefully encourage other people to use YNAB and get out of debt, but also to hold myself accountable. I feel like I'm going to do it for me first and foremost, but if y'all are interested, I think it's going to help me stay on track and really tackle those debts so that, like I said before, I'll be able to do the things that I want to do. So I just want to show you before I leave here. So I said $200 a month in credit card payments. Let's see what happens when I add up. Actually, let me do this in the next month. Sally Mae, Happy Money, One Main, First Mark, Partners, and Invisaligns. These are technically all like loans that I have taken out. So you can see I pay about $1,800 a month on loans, which when I saw that, it made me want to throw up because I can't believe I'm spending so much money on debt. It really fans the flame of like wanting to get out of debt. And I can't wait to get rid of these and start allocating those monies to these other categories so that I can live the life that I want to live, basically. And that is what I hope many of you are able to do and hopefully maybe follow along this debt payoff journey with me. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you stuck around, I will be making another video when my next paycheck comes out in a few days, and I will see you all then. Thank you. Bye.